Welcome to Traveler's Tales. I am your host, Greg Alonzo. Today I will be your guide through history as we take a look at part 2 of Warrior Elites, the Numidian Cavalry. Before we begin, just a quick reminder that we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Don't forget to hit the little bell icon to be notified each time we post new videos. Moving right along. Mythology tells us one thing, while archaeology tells us another. Our first question for today is from Angelique. She asked, who exactly are the Numidians today and in which country do they live? Angelique, very good question. The Berbers were the population of Numidia, which is present-day Algeria, including parts of Tunisia and Morocco. It is generally accepted that the Berbers originally lived in Morocco and migrated eastward. Now we have a question from Max. He wants to know, what did the Numidians call themselves? Max, this is only conjecture. There is some evidence that the Numidians referred to themselves as the Masayeli or the Masayelii. However, at this point in time, we can't be certain. These names could actually be what other tribes called them. Our next question is from Cindy. She asks, how then did the Berbers come to be called the Numidians? Cindy, it is believed that it was the ancient author Polybius who first referred to these Berbers as Numidians. However, the Numidians were frequently cited as Libyans by some ancient writers. Moving right along, we now have a question from Fernando. He asks, who are the descendants of the Numidians? Fernando, the main descendants of the Berber population of ancient Numidia are very likely the Kabylie people of modern-day Libya. Our next question is from Lesia. She is curious to know, what language did the Numidians speak? Lesia, it is scarcely attested, and we can only guess that their language belonged to the Afro-Asiatic family. Now we have an interesting question from Nestor. He asked, what initially brought the Numidians and the Carthaginians together? Nestor, initially it was trade. Let's press on. Zufia wants to know, what language did the Carthaginians speak? Zufia, the Carthaginians spoke Punic, which is related to Phoenician. Punic was influenced throughout its history by the Amazi language and continued to be used by the North African peasants until the 6th century of the Common Era. We still have time for a few more questions. Let's see. This one is from Vince. He asked, just how effective were the Numidian cavalry? Vince, depending on how they were used, they could be quite effective. Typically, they would launch an assault in a loose formation and began lobbing their javelins before wheeling off to escape the enemy's counterattack. Under Hannibal, the Numidian cavalry often fought on his right flank. Hannibal found the cavalry to be very useful as units in reconnaissance and intelligence. Hannibal also masterfully used them as a lure to trap the Romans into battle on his terms. Julius Caesar himself found the Numidian cavalry to be extremely frustrating as they constantly harassed his legions, while according to the Roman historian Livy, they were by far the best horsemen in Africa. This question is from Pierre. He asked, how did the Roman cavalry compare to the Numidians? Pierre, the Romans saw cavalry as a useful supporting arm, but not their principal force. In this, the Romans were similar to most ancient armies of the time. Our last question today is from Luther. He asks, how were the Numidians armed? Luther, the Numidian horsemen rode without saddles or bridles. They controlled their mounts with a simple rope around the horse's neck and a small riding stick. They wore no form of bodily protection except for a small leather shield or a leopard skin. Their main weapons were javelins and a small sword. This brings us to the end of part 2 of Warrior Elites, the Numidian Cavalry. Thank you for joining us for this edition of Traveler's Tales. Just a reminder that we post new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Don't forget to hit the little bell icon to be notified each time we post new videos. For your convenience, we have also posted our email address and Instagram information. We enjoy hearing from our subscribers and encourage you to send us your questions and comments. If you haven't subscribed to Traveler's Tales, please do. This really is the best way to help our channel grow. Traveler's Tales will return with the Zealots of the Second Temple period. Until we meet again at the crossroads of folklore and fact, Cartistos.